YouTube channel. You're with me, Mr. Friendly Neighborhood Millionaire with ZSOS FOREX. So on today's topic, we're gonna do our weekly analysis as usual for VIX 75 and possibly VIX 75 1S. We want to know our bias for the rest of the week, what we're looking at. Okay, now according to last week's analysis, we did say we're expecting the market to touch this zone, this area here. Okay, this whole area of interest here. So it did eventually touch it. So now what we're waiting for is the retest of this zone. Okay, remember the market broke through a trend line that we were in, this channel here. Okay, so now we're waiting for that retest in this zone here to hopefully take it to the upside. Okay, broke through out of this zone, touched this area of interest right here, then we've dropped down ever since. So now we're looking at what will happen in this zone. Okay, so possibly according to confirmation, if it gives us some confirmation, we might ride it to the upside. Okay, so if it starts pushing up, there's a possibility we might touch up to this area here of interest as well. Okay, we might have a sort of reaction in this area as well, because in the past it did react, but it's something that we are willing to work with. Okay, so but according to this, the market, if you push it down there, no, it didn't fully touch it, but we might expect some form of reaction in this area here. So if that does not happen, then possibilities are the market might touch down into the trend line here, but still we'll see how it goes. Might touch down into this trend line, do something like this, retest here, go to the upside. Okay, so now we're trapping the market in both directions. Okay, so that's how the bias for VIX 75 is, and yet again, this is on the daily time frame. Okay, so we'll see how well it goes. With confirmation, that's when we can ride it to the upside. If we drop down to our 4-hour time frame to check what exactly it's doing, so yeah, according to our 4-hour, you see our zone of interest just disappeared, but our zone of interest is this area right here. Okay, where the market is currently at. So with confirmation in this zone, that's when we can take a buy. I always advise my students to say, don't rush the process, be patient, because you're putting your money on the line. So it's not something that you can just gamble and do guesswork just because you've seen something happen, then you are just taking it according to what you feel. You really have to have all the confluence line up. That's when you can take a trade. So our bias is like this: if we get confirmation in this zone, we can take a buy. Yet again, we have to bear in mind that the market might come to retest this trend line here and this trend line here for a move to the upside. Okay, so being patient is something that is very important. If you haven't seen your confirmation, if you haven't seen your confluences add up, don't take the trade. There's no point in rushing into something that you're not sure of just because you feel you're missing out on a trade. For example, this trade here, I didn't take it because for me, my confluence didn't add up. One, the momentum that was leaving this zone wasn't right for me. So there's no point in taking everything. I always take trades that have lined up with my confluences. If my confluences are in order, I have no problem, to be very certain. Okay, so this trade, the only way I could have taken this trade if I was in it was here. Okay, so the market was making high highs, high lows, high highs, failed to make a new high. It started breaking its previous lows. Okay, so now what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for the market to break its lows, retest them, then momentum should be right. That's how I can jump on it. Okay, other than that, I don't take this trade. So I found it gone already. I found it somewhere here, so I was like, nah, I wouldn't take this trade under any circumstances because it's not right for me. Okay, so right now, if the market closes above this like this with a bullish momentum, I would consider it after I check my entry time frame to concur with the confluence of what the market is giving me. Okay, so other than that, that's a bias for VIX 75. Waiting for a reaction in this zone. If we're given, we can take it to the upside. Okay, if not, we're waiting for it to come down, retest this trend line, then continue to the upside. So we've trapped it in both ways, waiting for the confluences to add up. That's when we can jump on it. Okay, let's look at VIX 75 1S. We see what it is giving us. If it's something worth looking at, so that on a daily, we see if there's anything worth looking for. Okay, so yeah, so according to this, what are we looking at? So we're still buy bias, but we do have several zones that are of interest. Right now we touched down in this zone, touched up in this zone. We did see some weak rejection momentum to the downside, but the market seems to be still continuing to the upside. So our area of interest as well, if we get the right confirmation, we're waiting for the market, there's a possibility we might get a reaction back to these areas here, some form of retest in this area for it to continue to the upside. But if it does break above that zone, our next zone of interest is here. Okay, so what are we waiting for? Possibly a possible reaction into this zone, break above just like that. Okay, or it can just break this, retest it, then to the upside. So there are two possibilities to this. With the right confluence, we'll jump on it depending on what we see. Okay, otherwise there's nothing much to look at in terms of VIX 75 1S, but other than that, that's the bias. That's what I'm working with. If I'm given the confluences, then I'm jumping on it to ride it to the upside. So that's the analysis for the next coming week. We'll see how it plays out. We might take a few trades here and there on a different couple of pairs, okay, or indices. Okay, so something simple, something to look at. So yeah, always remember, safeguard your accounts, don't over leverage, please. No matter how certain you are, if you have a small account, always make sure you use proper risk management. Otherwise, that is the only thing that will guarantee you success in the long term. Okay, don't feel attracted to taking a lot of trades at once just because you see somebody else doing it. Always play it safe. This is your money you're working with. If you lose it, you're the one who's gonna stress. As I always say, the market does not care about your pressure that you have in life. It will eat your money and all of it. So make sure you safeguard it, put the proper stop loss, and yeah, continue trusting the process. From me, Mr. Friendly Neighborhood Millionaire, it's peace.